Britney Spears' ex-husband, Kevin Federline, says in his new memoir, quote, "It's time to sound the alarm," unquote, about her behavior. He wrote, "You thought you knew." I would have titled it, "Do we really care to know?" But anyway.
Wow. Savage.
Federline says that he heard about her behavior for years from their two sons, who were, I think, 18 and 20, and live with him. According to Federline, when the boys were younger, they said that they sometimes would wake up in the middle of the night to find her standing silently in the bedroom door with a knife in her hand. This is all according to his autobiography. Yeah. He wrote that since 2021, when Britney was released from her conservatorship, the clock is ticking and we're getting close to the 11th hour, that something bad is going to happen, unquote. Something bad did happen to him. She had to stop. She stopped having to pay him child support. So he wrote a book. He was getting $40,000 a month from her from their 3-year marriage.
All right. Well, Kevin Federline spoke with Ralphie Aversa, the host of USA Today's Entertain This, and explained why he's speaking out now.
Why now?
For 2 decades, I feel like everybody else has told my story, and now it's time for me to tell it. Things happened the way they did, and I feel like staying silent was needed for my family, and so that's what I did. Point of the Free Britney. Like, I feel like staying silent kind of created a lot of the momentum for that, because the truth wasn't out there, not the whole truth.
And Ralphie Aversa joining us now here on Connecting America. Good morning, Ralphie. Thanks for being here. So Kevin Federline saying he thinks there's a bad outcome ahead and it's inevitable for his ex. So he writes a book about this. Why is that the course of action here, do you think?
Well, according to Kevin, that's the course of action because he feels he's out of options at this point. When I was interviewing him, I made the sports analogy of, is this like your Hail Mary in a sense? And he tells me now, again, I hear there's at least one skeptic at the table, which is fine. Trust me, there are plenty of skeptics that are receiving this. I just can judge based on the comments we're getting on the USA Today Instagram about his intentions. But he says that he's really doing this for his sons to hopefully get his ex in a better place so that they will have a mom still in their lives.
Yeah, well, Bernie's team is certainly accusing Federline of writing the book to profit off of her now that she does not have to pay him child support anymore. She also spoke out about it, calling it gaslighting. What does he say about that?
So I would imagine he was expecting something like this. I asked him during our interview when the last time he spoke with Spears was, and he said years, plural. So clearly they don't really have a relationship. I also asked him when's the last time his sons spoke with Britney, and he was a little more evasive on that. He said it was more of a fluid relationship that both Jaden and Preston had with their mom. But yeah, as you mentioned, Britney issuing that statement on X after issuing a statement to USA Today saying that all of Kevin's lies were going straight to the bank.
Let me just take Kevin out of the equation for a moment. It doesn't appear he's the only one deeply concerned about Britney Spears' mental state. Fans all over the place watch her Instagram and they just don't understand what's going on. How widespread and really fact-based are these concerns about her mental health?
Well, one of the interesting things that's happened since the Free Britney movement and the end of the conservatorship is that, we don't really have a lot of sources around Britney, and we don't really know too many people that are in her orbit. I mean, she's not currently, as far as we know, recording music. She did tease last year a biopic based on her memoir, which she's also pointing people to at least get her side of the story in all of this. And of course, she doesn't paint Kevin in the most flattering of lights. And by the way, I should say, as somebody who did read Kevin's memoir ahead of interviewing him, he also, owns up to some of his mistakes that he's made, not just in his relationship with Britney, but I mean, he's got 6 kids with 3 different women. So, he's made a few mistakes as well that he owns up to in this book. But as far as Britney and those concerns, I feel like objectively you could look at some of these videos and you have at least a question or two about what's happening in her life right now. But nobody has any other concrete details outside of that.
Yeah, I mean she's a grown woman, and the kids are too. The kids are not minors anymore. They're one of them recently, it turned 18 or 19. I can't remember, and the other one is 20. I mean, and apparently, I mean, when they turn that age, they can do whatever they want to. They can have a relationship with their parents or not. So that's just the timing is a little bit curious. They're not minor children.
No, you're 100% correct on that. And again, Kevin, at least what he told me, he does want his kids to have a relationship. He wants them to have a relationship with their mom. And he feels, I asked him, talking about those Instagram videos, and this is the clip that's actually going to come out later today at usatoday.com. I asked him when he watches, the video of Britney Spears on her Instagram, and there's, I think, multiple videos of her dancing with knives, which Britney claims, by the way, are toy knives, regardless. And we're seeing some of this video right here. I asked him,
those don't look like toys.
They don't. Again, I'm just, kind of giving you both sides of it here.
Sure.
Britney claims that they are. But regardless, I asked Kevin, when you see that video, and especially in light of some of the claims he makes in this book, what do you think? And the first word that came out of his mouth was terrified. So again, look.
Same.
Same. I do find it. This is why the whole Free Britney movement happened, though. I mean, she's dancing like in front of a camera and putting it out on her Instagram. I mean, are we going to start policing everybody whose behavior we find to be outrageous? Because then we'd have a lot of conservatorships around the country.
Well, I think a big part of the Free Britney movement was her father, Jamie, and the intentions that he may or may not have had, around this conservatorship. Kevin also addresses that in his memoir, and he says that he really, truly believes that when the conservatorship began, nearly 2 decades ago, Jamie at the time was just trying to save his daughter. Now, what happened since then? He talks about the fact that he eventually had to file a restraining order against Jamie because Jamie had some substance abuse issues when it came to alcohol. What happened since then, I think, led to a lot of what we saw 4 years ago with the Free Britney movement.
Is there a movie deal in the works with Federline's book? Is that what we read?
We haven't heard anything about that yet. But again,
Okay.
Britney teased that she's got something in the works. She teased that last year.
All right. Ralphie Aversa, host of USA Today's Entertain This video franchise. Thanks for keeping us up to speed on what's going on with Britney. We appreciate it. Interesting interview, I'm sure.
You think she looks okay?
I'm just saying, are you going to go? I mean,
Hold on.
she is.
You think she looks okay?
I didn't say she looks okay. I think that, she's, but she's free to dance around with knives, real or imagined. Her 2 dogs in the background seem fine. As long as she clutches them tightly. But I just mean, what are we going to do? I mean, there is a real argument that, like, if you're,
her fans are deeply concerned for her health, her mental health. And she's still a global icon.
Yeah, but I'll tell you what, since 2021, since her conservatorship ended, she has not been in any criminal trouble. There has not been any, so.
Oh, no, I'm talking about genuine concern for her mental health. I don't know what you're alleging.
Do you think that she should be?
Go ahead.
No, I'm saying.
I think she needs help. Like, we should be concerned for the human here.
Yeah, well,
just the whole concept of, having to put out videos like that, standing in front of a phone or a camera and dancing.
Well, that's the world in which we live.
It's crazy.
I know. She's just doing it because she craves attention.
Yeah, that's why most people do that.